Stanley Black & Decker provides tools and services around the globe to help turn great ideas into reality and to help us shape the world we live in. We proudly support programming that inspires invention, innovation, and hard work. Together with Make48, we're providing men and women the tools and resources to build a better world. Stanley Black & Decker, for those who make the world.
ACE is made up of thousands of entrepreneurs with a passion for supporting innovation. With more than 5,000 locally owned stores worldwide, we help supply resources and tools for neighborhood makers and inventors.
ACE is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
For more than 30 years, QVC has been dedicated to finding and supporting innovators, inventors, and entrepreneurs. Our shopping experiences help entrepreneurs bring their products to life and share compelling stories of grit, determination, and creativity.
Previously on Make48, marketing videos were created.
We're trying to outline the flexibility of the product with her flexibility.
And a focus group was held to gain consumer insight.
So how much do you think you guys would pay for one of these things?
Welcome to Make48. Everyone's got a big idea.
For someone who is creating a product, has something new to sell, e-commerce is everything.
Just 15 years ago, which really isn't all that long, it was hard, really hard to get products sold. You had to go get in front of buyers for Walmart or whoever it would be and hope they liked it and hope then that you could get the product into their stores.
As we launch our products, we want to go get some expert advice on e-commerce. We wanted to meet with Jed at Amazon Launchpad. Like, as we know, prototyping a product that people make, people invent, is actually not the hard part because it can be done, you can be self-taught with all the equipment out there and the technology, or people engage in a firm to make prototypes. That's not the hard part, right? The hard part, from my experience and a lot of other people we know, is turning that product into a business.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more with that sentiment. It's creating the product is the easy part. The hard part is how do you sell it, how do you market it? One of the things that e-commerce has done in general is just reduce the amount of time it takes to scale for a company and gives customers access to products all around the world, not just where they live closest nearby.
And how important are reviews?
They're incredibly important. Not only do customers check reviews before they make purchases. As a customer myself, reviews are one thing that I'll always make sure to read. We see a direct correlation between review stars and a product's success.
It's a daunting world, e-commerce. There's a lot of moving parts, and as we know, it changes rapidly from year to year. So it'd be really good to hear what Jed has to say and what he has to advise us on with these products on the launch. We have a very fun but low-tech product called the Drink Slinger. Very simply, holds cans and bottles, just like so. But really unique is that it all connects together to hold 6 drinks in one hit.
So from a consumer perspective, I'd certainly say that it's going to be about the marketing, right? It's going to be about making it fun, because if we just think about the utility of a certain item, then they probably perform the same function as a koozie, but if there's a way to make it viral, or if there's a way to get people excited about this specifically, then yeah, that'd be great. The Drink Slinger seems like a fun product, but I'm a little bit concerned as to how it answers the product market fit, or what problem does this solve.
This product is the 360 uplight. It goes around potted plants. But how would you, in your opinion, what's the best way to educate the consumer and market this product?
I think this is the type of product that actually would probably do better on e-commerce than physical retail, because you actually need to understand how it works. So I think the story is the other part that I think e-commerce helps consumers and entrepreneurs with a lot, which is allowing creators and inventors to tell their narrative, not only about the product itself, but to provide more of a story on how they created that product and to tell a little more about their own personal story.
And what you see here is the Wedgie chair. 2 dads, 2 daughters created this product called the Wedgie. It folds into 3 different directions.
I like the product. It does a couple of things that I think could be really useful for consumers, so I think it does fulfill a need there. The biggest question I would have certainly is just from your initial description, what's going on with the name?
So the wedgie, we've had some conflicting thoughts. Some people love the name, the wedgie, the most comfortable wedgie you ever have. Some people do not like it, they think it's offensive.
I mean, for myself, I certainly would not think of a chair if you just said the word wedgie. And so I'm thinking more apparel, that kind of thing. So just from the name alone, I think you're gonna have an awareness problem. Of the products that we looked at today, I actually thought it had the most practical purpose and I could see myself using it. The biggest open question I have would be with the name itself. When you say the word wedgie, a chair is definitely not where most people may go. When I think about a name, I think of just a couple seconds that you have to connect with a consumer and for the consumer to try to figure that out.
It's good to hear that from you because when you go spend that money on the launch, we're going to change the name, a year from now and then have to start a whole new marketing campaign. So that's really good feedback.
The United States is home to some of the most important trade shows in the global consumer product industry. They provide valuable direct access to buyers, distributors, investors, and manufacturers from around the world.
We're here at the CES Show 2018, the biggest trade show for high-tech consumer products.
We're here at the International Home and Houseware Show in Chicago, and we're gonna see all the new inventions.
Bob, New York City, Toy Fair, first time I've been here.
Exposing your product to the world is something that is very difficult to do. One of the best ways to do that is to go to trade shows and really showcase your product.
Always go to trade shows and go to the big ones. As an inventor, you look at this and you think, wow, there's so much innovation out there already, but this is where you want to go. This is what every inventor should have their sights set on, having a booth at CES. Because it's the ultimate show of the cool products in the world, especially if it's a high-tech product that you're inventing. I'm from Kansas City. I'd go to trade shows on the coast and think, what am I doing here? You get a little scared, you get outside of your comfort zone.
So Bob, what are the benefits of an inventor coming to something like this, kind of having a booth in this section?
Well, they definitely have more exposure because all the buyers from major retailers are coming here. Just great exposure. I mean, I see a lot of them are crowdfunding campaigns that are successful. That's got to start. They had a viable product online and proof of concept it worked, so they're ready to hit the retail stores.
Thousands of people attend these, and that one buyer from a large resource, e-commerce site, or store could just pop by your booth and love your product. We attend many trade shows a year and see all these products, and especially for inventors. What does something like this mean for you?
At 10 o'clock the show opens and we've got an audience of sales reps. We've already met with foreign buyers who might be able to put us into Australian and New Zealand stores. How could we possibly do this back in the office, working the phones and email? There's no substitute. You've got to be there in person. You've got to pitch your product. You've got to tell your story. You've got to demonstrate it to show that we didn't say it works, it really works.
The ultimate value of attending trade shows is to personally network, connections that otherwise would take weeks, months, or even years to accomplish.
So I attended a trade show in Las Vegas. I got to meet my neighbor, Ryan. Ryan was with M&M Sales. We struck up a conversation and they ended up buying the company.
The key with the trade show is to make that initial connection.
Right.
The hard work comes after the show with all the follow-up and going through, making sure that that customer is contacted, hopefully get a business meeting with them, and then go sit down with them one-on-one when they have more time where they're not trying to take in 500 different booths in a matter of 2-3 days.
My first trade shows that I attended, I was very excited. I was very proud of my products. I had this enthusiasm. I invented it. I knew everybody would love it, but no one liked it more than I did. Yeah. My mom was a close second. And so you go to the trade show and you're showing it off, and then you realize you're really introducing yourself. I think it's important for people that haven't been to trade shows, you've got to remember you are introducing yourself first, product second, and then you hopefully can create a relationship that's mutually beneficial.
All right, Bob, so we're in the new inventor section. So any inventor that has a new product out on the line, they showcase it here.
This is my favorite place, Courtney.
First thing I look for, if I'm just walking it, is to go to the new section, the new inventor section, or new products, it's just newbies. It's people that are just getting started.
As we attend more and more trade shows, we see these areas of startups growing. They're getting fostered, they're getting bigger in numbers, and that's really, really good to see.
You'll meet the same buyers in a 10 by 10 booth with a table that you'll meet in that giant booth the size of a house that's got a Ferrari parked in it.
The best way to make an impression at a trade show is with an eye-catching booth. Tom and Courtney visit a trade show booth manufacturer to get advice on the latest trends in display design.
We're here in Dallas, Texas, meeting with Joffrey at Radius Display Products to talk about trade show booths and how they create them and what their step-by-step process is.
Joffrey, these displays and pop-up signs that we see and familiar with in the past, when I get them in my mail, and they're ready to go, they look so simple. Is it as easy as just, a printer printing something on fabric and it's made like that, or is it quite a detailed process?
It's not quite as simple as just picking up a printer and printing directly on some fabric. It's not like printing on your printer at home on paper. It's quite a different technology. The humidity, the temperature in the room, if it's raining that day, the weave and the weft of the fabric, there are a lot of variables and factors that really can contribute to the final product. We've seen a lot of changes in the trade show industry over the last 41 years. We've gone from cardboard signs and table skirting to LED backlit pop-up displays, and so the technology has changed quite a bit.
At many of the trade shows we've been to, these booths have massive displays. What's the difference between those and things that you do here?
Yeah, some of those are really amazing to look at. They also have an amazing price tag to go with them. Yeah. Some of them cost upwards of $100,000 or more for 2-level or 2-story displays. And those are really great for large corporations and that have a really big trade show spend.
In trade shows, you are just one of many booths out there. And so you really want to be eye-catching, and when people walk by, you only have a split second to catch their eye. And so you want to be inviting, but not over the top.
That's sort of the in thing for the last couple of years is backlit, bright colored fabrics. Everyone wants something that stands out, draws your attention. So many times you go to a trade show and you're sort of lost in an ocean of black drape, that just goes on for 40 feet. Things like this really stand out and pop and make people want to stop by your booth. So,
what technology is that to get that print so clear on that fabric?
There is a specialized backlit fabric that we use. It's coated so that the light will bounce around the internal box itself. And then the transfer process is a dye sublimation transfer to get really bright, vivid colors. We use an SEG type technology, which is basically a silicone edge or gasket that's sewn into the graphic. So it makes assembly very, very easy. What we like to say is if you can close a Ziploc bag, you can actually put a graphic on. So very, very simple to assemble. And then the frame itself is all assembled with a pop-up type technology. So it collapses down very, very small, very lightweight, easy to transport.
And of course, this image is really bright. It really stands out. It's probably the best display in this room right now. How important is that at a trade show, in your opinion?
It's probably the most important thing. You only have about 3 seconds to grab someone's attention before they kind of walk on. All of the booths tend to look the same when they're set up for a trade show, so that anything you can do to differentiate or stand out is just a feather in your cap to get people in. The design of the graphics has a lot to do with how that will work too. Lighter colors, such as we have here, and bright colors will kind of glow. If you print on dark fabric, then the image itself will pop because black absorbs light. So the layout of your art really has a lot to do with the ultimate look and how it will actually display as well. So you have a lot of flexibility there.
Do you advise the inventors themselves, if they've given you artwork that's not really going to justify and do a good job for that project, do you advise them to maybe change some things around?
We will make recommendations based on what you send us. We will let you know that if it's too pixelated, if the resolution is too low, or if in our opinion it just won't look really good. We've been doing dye sublimation printing for over 40 years, and so we've pretty much got it down pat. We know what prints well and what doesn't print well. So a lot of our clients will ask our opinion when they're laying out their art, so we're happy to provide that whenever we can.
And this is something that we're familiar with. Right, so Courtney, how much space do we have this year at the National Hardware Show for the inventors, for the startups and their booth space. It's not very big. It's not a 10 by 10, is it?
No, it's actually a 10 by 35. So we have 10 individual 5 by 7 booths. Usually it's for just one product for an inventor that's showing this for the first time. So they don't usually give them much space.
Sure.
So for us, we have all of these put together. What do you recommend for us? You know, do we do individual booths or do we do something larger, more on a bigger scale?
Well, I think this would be a great option for individual size booths because it would be sizable to that configuration you have. We have a back wall that we can do that's 5 feet wide with a pillowcase graphic, so very simple to assemble. So I think that really would fit your needs the best. In addition to this, which is our radius counter, it utilizes basically the same pop-up technology, so it collapses down, it's easy to transport, very lightweight, and you get very colorful, stunning graphics as well.
Going 5 wide is really good because we don't want to block out the other side, because on the other side of that booth is one of our people as well.
Right.
So we want to have it so that we're one group, but yet everyone's got their individual little pod, so to speak.
Yeah, even placing them on a diagonal is sometimes helpful too, because that creates some visual sight lines to the opposite side. So we get that challenge a lot when people have cross-configuration booths, which happens a lot, and they have them on opposite sides, but they want to make them kind of contiguous. So we're familiar with that challenge.
It has to be simple to get the message across, so that way when a person or a buyer walks by, they know exactly what your product is and what it does.
Thousands of new consumer products debut at the National Hardware Show in Las Vegas. This venue provides a new inventor platform for product exposure and critical industry feedback.
We are here at the National Hardware Show, and we have an amazing booth at the Inventor Spotlight area. The season 1 and 2 inventors are all here ready to showcase their products.
And this is the first time that we've ever brought in the inventors to the hardware show. And so they really get that full-on experience of what it takes to get their products to market.
How does it work? What are these little? Okay, it works better when it's dark. Yeah. The concept is pretty simple. It's 3 different positions in one chair.
You're talking to retailers, you're talking to manufacturers, distributors, so you're really getting a lot of ideas about the product, good feedback.
And the whole thing compacts, that's the folds flat. It folds flat. So if you're ever throwing chairs, like beach chairs in the back of the car, the legs are sticking up, it's a little tricky. This will fold to like 3 inches.
So we talk to manufacturers, they give you ideas about how to manufacture it, and then retailers will give you a feel for what are the types of uses.
As we do these trade shows, you can ultimately use these as like the world's biggest focus group. You're getting opinions from all different directions, from manufacturers, from merchandising experts, from retailers. They're all giving their opinion.
The hardware show has been really great for us. We've had an opportunity to talk to a lot of different distributors, vendors, stores.
It's kind of surreal a little bit to see the invention and where it's at and people actually interested in it.
I think it's fun to see all the teams again, the teams that we were with on Make48, because it was like this family, like this community that's just, everybody helped everybody.
Team Mount Hoodlums, the inventors of the Drink Slinger, were not able to attend the National Hardware Show due to schedule challenges. The Make48 team worked the floor on their behalf.
An innovative drink koozie holder that allows you to pick up 6 different drinks for your party goers or your friends and family, all in one hit. So if you want to stick your hand, just go ahead, and just lift up.
That's great.
It's pretty comfortable.
You know what I thought? It came to my mind that I am German, so if you got it in Munich for Bavaria, it should be a bit bigger, just to have all these beer cups.
Sure, the steins, it might get a little heavy then. It might get a little heavy then.
The Heel Seal and the Whiz Bang, 2 of the winning products from Season 1, are also being presented at the National Hardware Show.
We're happy to see Toomey from Marquee Design and Hatch Innovations here at the show, and they're ready to showcase their product to all the buyers.
Toomey got married, and the Hatch boys, I think their beards got longer.
Just seeing them guys, we're like family, but it's been a while. We all just saw each other and hugged and just reminisced. It's a really great feeling because these guys, when you spend 48 hours with somebody going through all of that, you really do create a bond that's I think lasts forever.
I like the idea.
So
this would last.
Easily wipe
Easily
it off and
off.
collect it. Yes.
Yep, I like it.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Let me see what it does. Is it?
Sure. Joe, goes on this way. Yeah. Push the on button and then it's activated for a certain amount of time.
I think the one thing that I've learned about pitching a product at a hardware show or any other trade show is that you have to generate interest on your own. Being willing to talk to people, be friendly, and avoid the hard sell is probably one of my biggest takeaways in terms of how to interact with people.
So where it's at today is great to see a final piece to it. You know, see it all come together. A lot of things have changed with the initial size and concept, but it's still what we want to see in the end. We're happy for it. It looks great, and we can't wait to see what the world thinks of it.
We've got a lot of good feedback, and we've got a lot of good suggestions on what they like to see in it, what maybe some things that could be changed. It's still late in the prototype stage, so we can go back and change a few things yet.
Good. All right. So these were all made at 48, huh?
Yeah, all made in 48 hours, the initial concept. We're still refining the design, but yeah, that's the intent.
Getting a ton of good feedback, a ton of feedback on sizing, a ton of feedback on colors. So one thing I really did learn is that taking a product, even if it's something so simple, is not for the faint of heart. You have to have drive, you have to have patience, you have to really be persistent, and you just got to understand that there is a light at the end of the tunnel, and you can't be distracted if you run into like little failures or little things here and there. Anytime you have that type of failure, it is a chance to learn. You need to take it like that so that you can improve yourself and improve the product going forward. And that's something I've learned, like helping develop the heel seal, that you got to take those lumps with pride, and you got to understand that those are going to help the product later on.
These three products have come a long way since the 48-hour competition, and with just a few hurdles left to clear, their future looks bright.
I've been taking products to market for years, and the journey is always different. You meet with new people, we always have brand new challenges, things we never thought of are going to happen. We meet new experts. Our network will always grow. Society will change, trends will change, and the way the product is sold to the consumer will always change.
It's a fun grind, for lack of a better word.
It's been great fun, it really is, and it's amazing what you can do in a short amount of time with a team and with supporting people, and also having all the kinds of equipment that one needs handy.
You kind of feel afraid in the beginning because you don't know what you can invent.
Tom Tafoya really knew what he was doing. He picked people from all different backgrounds to do this. I'm glad I had the opportunity to do it. I'm glad he called me.
And for me, it's been like a dream come true, because I've been trying to develop ideas for years, and to actually be able to sit, in a booth and share with people walking by something that we've developed. It's been an incredible experience.
Our vision for the wedgie is sort of coming to life and being expanded upon. And I think that when it does go to market, I think it's going to be really helpful to have had all of this sort of professional input from people who really know what they're talking about. So
the biggest thing I've learned, I don't know about Terry, is having a strong team around you really made it. Our family is a really strong team.
After doing it all yourself and realizing if you had a team, how much more you can accomplish and how much more you can do.
When you really stand back and appreciate everything that we purchased practically, right? There's a process that got it to that point.
It's a journey that never ends. We all have goals in mind. I remember my first goal of, can I just sell a case of these, of 12? And you sell them, and then you create another goal, and it just never ends.
Each product you develop, each time you go down to the invention road and come up with another product, it's a whole different journey. You're at different trade shows. There's different bends in the river, different cities, different states. You're talking to different companies to manufacture it or to prototype it. You're talking to different people to get it into stores.
I challenge people to look at products, look at the things in their life, look all around their everyday life, look at all of those things that comprise their life, and try and look at them in a different way. Great ideas do not discriminate. They come to all of us, all the time. We just have to open ourselves up to it.
Make48. Everyone's got a big idea.
Stanley Black & Decker provides tools and services around the globe to help turn great ideas into reality and to help us shape the world we live in. We proudly support programming that inspires invention, innovation, and hard work. Together with Make48, we're providing men and women the tools and resources to build a better world. Stanley Black & Decker, for those who make the world. For more than 30 years, QVC has been dedicated to finding and supporting innovators, inventors, and entrepreneurs. Our shopping experiences help entrepreneurs bring their products to life and share compelling stories of grit, determination, and creativity.
ACE is made up of thousands of entrepreneurs with a passion for supporting innovation. With more than 5,000 locally owned stores worldwide, we help supply resources and tools for neighborhood makers and inventors.
ACE is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
To learn more about the invention process and to get to know the teams, visit Make48.com.